Okay, so for the sake of time, we're gonna get started and welcome everyone to this informational session on graduate studies in computational and data science at the University of Michigan. These are organized by the Michigan Institute for Computational Discovery and Engineering and the Michigan Institute for Data Science. I'm Mariana Carrasco-Teja. I'm an associate director for MICDE. And these are the people that are gonna be presenting today. I'm here. We're gonna be talking about the certificate in computational neuroscience, and whose program director is Victoria Booth. Then Professor Kim Powell is the director of the Ph.D. in scientific computing, and Professor Ivo Dinov is associate director for MIDAS, and we'll talk about the graduate certificate in data science. Jing Lu and Joanne Kerr will be here to answer questions at the end. And I will be explaining talking about the graduate certificate in computational discovery and engineering. And just quick reminder, please keep your cameras off and your microphones off. But if you have a question, please raise your hand and then you can unmute yourself and ask a question. So we're happy to take the questions in the middle of the presentation. And again, there will be a chance at the end to go into the different breakout rooms with the different programs, and you can ask questions in a smaller group, not really one-on-one because there will be more people there. But anyway, to get started with the programs, just to say a few words of what the Michigan Institute for Computational Discovery and Engineering is. This is an institute that was created in 2013 as an initiative of the University of Michigan College of Engineering, the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, and of what was Advanced Research Computing. And our mission is to advance new paradigms of computational science, and this cuts across application domains. And we want to enable discoveries that will define society for the next decade and beyond. Computational science is the development and innovative use of mathematical, computational algorithms and models for research, science, and engineering. You do data analysis, interpretation, product development, and forecasting. And it's widely accepted as a third pillar of science, and is complementing theory and experimentation. And as I always like to say, is computational science these days is everywhere. So very briefly, MIC today has over 150 affiliated faculty from 8 schools and colleges. The largest ones are engineering and literature, science, and the arts, but we have medical school, public health, education, kinesiology, a school of information, and a school of environment and sustainability. We have 3 research centers, one for storage-enabled computational science, one that works on data-driven computational physics, and one that does research center on software infrastructure. We do seminar series, symposia, and faculty workshops, some outreach and industrial engagement. And we do have the 3 educational programs, the PhD in scientific computing and the 2 graduate certificates in computational discovery and in computational neuroscience. These are a few examples of what our researchers do around the university. As you can see, blood flow, which is in this case a combination of mathematics and in biomedical engineering. We have material science these days, and it's very, I guess, pandemic related. We have a lot of research on public health, and of course, the space climate needs a lot of computation. Mathematics is at the center of it. So anything you can think of these days, or almost anything, has some computational science background. And here are some more listed. So today what we're gonna talk about is our educational programs. So we have two certificate programs, and these ones are open to all master's students and PhD students that are already enrolled at the University of Michigan. We say they are lightweight because what they do is give you a recognition or exposure or some knowledge of the field of computational science or computational neuroscience. In the other hand, we have the PhD program that offers you the opportunity for a much deeper specialization in computational science. And you'll see that difference is the certificates usually require around 9 credit hours, while the PhD requires 18 credit hours. So first of all, the Rackham Certificate in Computational Discovery and Engineering. The program director is Krishna Karikipati, professor of mechanical engineering and mathematics, and he's also the director of MICDE, who couldn't be here today. And for these certificates, you need 9 credit hours. So usually 3 courses, but not necessarily. You can do a combination, you know, of 2 4 credit courses and one credit, as long as it's not a research credit. At least 2 of those courses should be on methodology. All courses with substantial computational content are allowed. So if you browse through our website and a course is not listed on it, please ask us about it, and we'll evaluate if it can be included into the program. And one more thing, if you are doing a master's degree or an embedded master's degree, one of these or 3 of these credits can be double counted with your master's degree. We also require you to attend the MICDE annual symposium that hopefully, and it all seems that we'll have this year on March 31st and April 1st of 2022 in person. That's our hope that we are able to do it this year. And you also have to attend at least 7 seminars all throughout, not in a year, but you have, if you're here in a PhD and you're here 4 years, we only require you to attend 7 seminars or make sure you register for 7 seminars. But of course, we encourage you to attend as many as possible for you. The program also has a CDE related non-credit experience or practicum. And this usually takes shape of an internship, or you can do a research project. So it can be an extended research project from a course. You could also take another 3 credit course if none of the other options work for you, but we usually leave this option as a last option because we want you to experience either research or practical experience. If you're a master's degree, you can also join one of the multidisciplinary design programs that will give just very brief information later. Or if you want information about it, let us know. So a few numbers about the Graduate Certificate in Computational Discovery Engineering. As I said, it was established in 2013. It currently has 36 students enrolled, which is a bit lower than other years. Like I think past years, the average was about 45, 50. The past year, academic year, 14 graduated. So there's 97 alumni total. And the current students come from 27 departments and 8 different schools of colleges. And you can see the graph. The green are departments from engineering, purple are from literature, science, and the arts. And the other ones are kinesiology, medical school, and pharmacy, the College of Pharmacy. If you want more information, this is the website. You can, where we keep all the information, we try to keep it updated again, but if something seems out of date or doesn't make sense, please send us an email. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it over to Professor Victoria Booth, that's the director of the Graduate Certificate in Computational Neuroscience.
Okay, great, thanks Mariana. Hi everyone, so I'm Victoria Booth. I'm a professor in the math department, as well as I have a joint appointment in the med school in anesthesiology. So the The certificate in computational neuroscience, it was organized in collaboration with the neuroscience graduate program and MICDE. And the motivation was has been to give an opportunity for students to gain interdisciplinary training in the applying of quantitative methods to neuroscience. And that in the field of neuroscience, quantitative analysis, techniques, methodologies are really growing in their importance and their acceptance in the field. And so having people trained in these kind of techniques and the application in particular to neuroscience and neural data is important. So the next slide. You want to go to Mariana? Oh, there you go. Thanks. So just like the other certificates, the requirements are 9 credit hours, and here we have some requirements for what those courses will be. So students should take one of what we've named the core computational neuroscience courses that they're being offered on campus. There's one in the math department, one in engineering, and one in psychology. And all of these courses involve direct application of quantitative analysis and modeling to neuroscience and neural systems and neural data, as well as involve a project applying those techniques to those systems. And then in order to promote the interdisciplinary nature of the certificate, we have a 3 credit requirement for a course in the cross discipline. So if you're in a quantitative degree program, say engineering, physics, math, that kind of thing, we require you to take a course in neuroscience. So that would be the cross discipline, and then vice versa. If you're in a biology neuro degree program, we require one course that's more quantitative. And then the 3rd course can be an advanced course within your degree specialty. We also have a practicum requirement. And in here, again, there's flexibility in how that can be fulfilled. It can be fulfilled if you're in a degree program that has rotations, if you do a rotation in a cross-discipline lab, or an extended project from the core computational neuroscience courses. As well as perhaps additional coursework. And then we also have journal club requirements for participation. We hold a interdisciplinary neural networks journal club, which is on alternate Fridays at 10. And we just started that the other week this semester. So the next one is this week, Friday at 10 a.m. Also, it's not on the slide, but another journal club is the neuroengineering journal club in the engineering department, and that fulfills the journal club requirement also. So the benefits is really for students to gain this interdisciplinary experience that will set students up to participate in the team-based science that neuroscience has become, where experimentalists are looking for quantitative people to participate in their experimental studies, and etc. Okay, and then so this is a newer certificate program. We just started in 2019. So we've got currently 7 students enrolled, and you can see the breakdown there. And then we've got 1 who's graduated already, 1 alumni. Okay, and then for the enrollment process, again, the first step in the enrollment process is to talk to your advisor or your program director about trying to fit this into your program of study, trying to fit any of the certificates into your program of study. And then here on the website, on the MICDE website, we ask you to fill out an application form and then meet with the program director, which is me, and we could discuss how your plan for fulfilling the requirements, and then to complete the RACM application form. I forget what's, okay. So now Ken Powell will talk about the PhD in scientific computing.
Thanks, Victoria. Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Powell. I'm a professor in the aerospace department. And the PhD in scientific computing is different than the two certificates that you just heard about. The certificates, are fairly limited in scope. You can do them with, a smaller amount of coursework. But this is really a joint PhD program. So the way it works is you already need to be pursuing a PhD in your home department at Michigan, and that remains your home department. But if you are willing to do this, then what you do is, besides meeting your home department requirements, you have to have on your thesis committee or your doctoral committee, it should reflect the fact that you're doing research in scientific computing or data science. So maybe your thesis advisor or someone else in your doctoral committee should be associated with MICDE or with MIDAS and should be, doing research in scientific computing or data science. So the number of credit hours required to add the scientific computing to your diploma is double what it is for a certificate. It's 18 hours. When we designed the program, we said to be really good in scientific computing, you need three things. You need to know three things. One is you need to know the problem you're solving. So that's the home department requirement, that you're getting a PhD in your home department. The second is you need to understand the numerical methods you're going to use to solve the problem. So that's mathematics and methodology courses about numerical methods. And the third is that you need to understand the modern computers you'll be applying these on. So that's courses like parallel algorithms or machine learning or other classes like that. In addition, there's a requirement associated with the doctoral qualifying or prelim, where there needs to be a scientific computing aspect to that. And we work with the departments, since they all have different ways to do their qualifying, to make sure that that's done. I'm ready when you are, Mariana. Thanks. If you meet these requirements, if you go through the work, basically, then your diploma actually reads like, let's say you're in chemical engineering, PhD in chemical engineering and scientific computing. And I picked an engineering department, but we have people in a lot of different departments and colleges that we'll show you a little later. So currently the program has grown. Currently there are 151 students enrolled in it. As you can see, with a light green or teal or whatever is departments inside the College of Engineering. And historically, this was set up by aero, math, and nuclear engineering faculty. So a lot of that's still kind of represented in the student mix. But again, there's a lot of students from big departments like material science, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and in LS&A, things like physics and chemistry and math, but also poli-sci, psychology. So we're seeing more and more people doing data science related work in the social sciences showing up in this. And then you can see across some other colleges, we've always had a few pharmacy students in the program doing computational pharmacy. And we have people even in Ross and kinesiology nowadays. We've graduated 89 people since 2015, and there were 85 graduated before then. So we've graduated more than 175 PhDs. And again, you can see the mix historically. The College of Engineering and LS&A have been the homes for many of the students, but we're starting to see more diversity in that. So I think Victoria said it really well. If you're thinking about any of these programs, whether it's one of the certificates, but particularly if it's the PhD in scientific computing, your first order of business is to talk to your thesis advisor in your home department, because this does impact the courses you're going to take, can impact the time to degree and so on. And you definitely need to be on the same page as your home department advisor if you want to do this. If they're open to it and you need more help explaining it, you can use the information on the website to get that information. It's not really admission to our program. Basically, you enroll in the program if you want to do it and have the time to do it. So we don't really want to see people in the semester right before they graduate, because you want to make some plans for how your coursework is going to meet the requirements in scientific computing. So typically we see students who are in maybe their first or second year of their PhD in their home department. They start talking to us about this, and we set up what classes they're going to take to meet the scientific computing requirements. And next, Ivo Dinov from the nursing school is going to talk about one of the MIDAS certificates, the Michigan Institute for Data Science, and the certificates that are under there.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, thank you, Mariana. So I'm Ivo Dinov. I'm part of MIDAS. Thanks very much for joining. I know we have students from at least 10 or 12 different colleges on campus present here. Thanks for taking the time. So I'll describe the next option that you guys have as a Rackham issued add-on graduate certificate program that's issued by the Michigan Institute for Data Science. So as Ken and Mariana pointed out earlier, and so did Victoria, there is very interesting dichotomies between mathematics, computing, statistics, and data science. And, you know, I've listed here on this first slide just some of the fundamental characteristics of what are the issues and challenges that relate to data-specific problems. And in the first column, you can see some of these 6 or 7 dimensions of big data. And then the next column kind of illustrates some of the challenges that we constantly try to tackle with these things. So the time variability, the multiple scale of the observations, multi-source incongruent observations being packed together or harmonized, the complexity of the file representation, format schemas, and obviously the size. These are all very, very intricate characteristics, including the incompleteness of the data. So Mariana, if we can go to the next slide, please. So we have developed the Graduate Data Science Certificate Program. Michigan Institute for Data Science started in 2015. The certificate program started the same year, actually. So we are in the 5th year. If you want to know more about MIDAS or the Data Science Graduate Certificate Program, you can go to the midas.umich.edu website, and under certificate, we have, as it says here, you know, what are the academic requirements for enrollment, application procedures, courses that are approved as part of the curriculum, graduation checklist, and so forth. And I want to remind if many of you are first-year graduate students just starting this fall of 2021, you will have to wait until the grades of your first semester are posted before, which will be mid-December or so, before you submit your applications to either of these programs. If you have been, you know, a graduate student at Michigan the previous semester, either spring, summer, or winter of 2021 or earlier, then you're okay to submit your application now. So much like the previous Computational Discovery Engineering and Computational Neuroscience certificate, the Data Science Graduate Certificate is a 12-credit program. 9 of these are didactic credits in, generally speaking, in algorithms and applications, number 1, number 2 in data manipulation, and number 3 in analytical methods. We also have the 3-credit practicum requirement, which for many students is either you know, a summer internship, some kind of a practicum outside of the academic as an extracurricular activity. And for some students, this may actually be an extra class. We also require that students attend the MIDAS seminar series, for which you have to have 1 credit of EECS 409, and then another semester at least by either participating actively or watching previous videos of archived seminars. So there is 3 specific core proficiencies that the Graduate Data Science Certificate Program aims to develop in trainees. The first one is in the algorithms and applications, data management and data manipulation, and the third one is in analytics. So for each of these 3, we are going to go over very briefly over what these things cover. But if you're interested in about what kind of prerequisites you need, we would accept any student from any University of Michigan graduate program. You have to have affinity, you have to have a little bit of exposure to some quantitative training during your undergraduate or previous graduate studies, and you need some coding experience. It's not absolutely required, but it certainly helps. Most of our students gain substantial coding experience in the program. And then the most significant component is, of course, very strong motivation to advance, learn something new, expand your skill sets. So in the algorithms and applications, we're looking to build your competencies in tool development, tool utilization, algorithm fine-tuning, coding functions, dealing with structures. And then we're also trying to build your skills at least in one application domain that you get to decide whether this is economic, health, environment, transportation, social, biosocial. You get to decide what the domain is. In the second category, on the next slide, in the data management, we're trying to expose you to techniques for what's called EDA, exploratory data analytics, visualization, data manipulation, which is typically called in data science data wrangling, and then handling data infrastructure in terms of platforms that allow you to query data and so forth. And in the last component, in the analytical methods, we're trying to provide mechanisms for you to acquire some statistical inference expertise, learn how to design a study, and then obviously build AI and machine learning skills through experience. So this is one new thing this year that we just launched, something called the Biomedical Informatics and Data Science Training Program, the BIDS TP. This is only applicable for doctoral students. So for PhDs that are interested in both biomedical informatics and data science, it doesn't really matter which college or which program you're coming from. The BIDS TP provides opportunities for funded trainees, which are supported for 2 years, fully funded, and for BIDS trainees. So the fellows are fully funded. The trainees, they have funding from existent outside resources, which is provided by typically your advisor, your school, your college, your department, and so forth. So these nominations for next year are going to be solicited in winter. And for those of you, again, that have interest, I would encourage you to check the website, bids-tp@umich.edu. These are, again, 24-month appointments. We have the first cohort just started this September. We have 8 fellows and 7 trainees in the program. So there's about 15 students going through the program now. Obviously, some will graduate next spring, summer. Others are going to continue. There will be a new cohort that is going to be joining. But again, if you're on a PhD track and you're interested in both biomedical informatics and data science, would encourage you to consider asking your mentor or one of the BIDS TP trainees or mentors to nominate you so that we can consider your application for this program. And on the final slide, again, if you would like to contact me or our graduate coordinator, Kristen, please send us an email. Check the website for all the details, and we would love to have you in any of these programs as a matter of fact. Thank you. I think on the next slide we're going to showcase some of the common student resources that we have available, including the multidisciplinary design program. Mariana?
Yes, thank you, Ivo. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk very briefly about some of the computational and data science resources that students have available. Some of these are for MIDAS and MICDE students, others are just open to any student at the university. So both institutes, MICDE and MIDAS, run seminar and webinar series and symposia where everybody is welcome. One of the main, one of the main goals of the institutes is to create a community and networking, right? So these seminars, webinars, symposiums, workshops, that's what they do. MICDE is running a scientific computing student webinar series right now that we encourage you to, it will start in a couple of weeks, and we encourage you to participate, either just listening or if anybody wants to present their work, that would be great. sometimes we organize hackathons, or we have training, various training opportunities. Another very important resource that I think is a very good resource from the university is from CISCAR, that's Consulting for Statistics, Computing and Analytical Research. They have free consultations and workshops. And so if you are just getting interested in computational science, or you have done some research, but you know you do it out of your computer, but you would like to take the jump and then start using the clusters and the HPC resources at the university, you can actually go and talk with this group of people that they are all researchers, and they can help you take that leap, right? From having your serial code to parallel code and run it so much faster. So CISCAR is a very good resource. For students in the MICDE programs, we offer $4,000 top of fellowships. That's actually, they are competitive. You can, we put out the applications at the end of the spring, and then the students are fellows for 1 year, but they can spend their money while they are students at the University of Michigan. We also offer CANE, that's engineering accounts for non-engineering students. CANE sometimes have software that other colleges don't have. So if you sign up for MICDE, you can get access to that. MIDAS, some of MIDAS student resources, they have a student leadership board that I believe, and Jing, please feel free to join, that they're right now interviewing for these positions. They have experiential learning projects for students, and they also have data for social good projects. The other resource, and this is brand new, and I guess I saw all the work behind it, and it took a long time to put this resource together, but Advanced Research Computing, this is the people that manage and take care of the HPC clusters. So that is the Great Lakes clusters and all the data science, storage. And they have now this computing package where any researcher student at the university can have up to 80,000 CPU hours of HPC free, and 10 terabytes of replicated high performance storage, and 100 terabytes of archive storage. And also for courses, for courseworks, now students, or I mean the instructor sets it up, but students can use up to 100 CPU hours to practice, I guess, using the cluster, or to run projects in class projects, and up to 1 terabyte of big data per course. And again, this is run by Advanced Research Computing. And before I go here, I'm gonna stop because Professor Ivanina will tell you just a little bit, for those of you that are master students, so just briefly about the multidisciplinary design program. So Ivo, if you wanna share your screen.
Yeah. Okay, is the screen visible?
Yes.
So, okay. So the multidisciplinary design program is for those of you that are looking for more hands-on experience. It is a 12-month program. They would take doctoral students as well, but predominantly, you know, master students and actually upper division undergrads join. There is typically between 600 and 800 students enrolled in the MDP annually. That provides an example of a practicum that you can have to satisfy 3 or more credit requirements in either of these programs that you're hearing about. So in essence, even though the program is run out of the College of Engineering, most of the students are coming from all the other schools and colleges on this campus. So basically right now is the process, you know, today and tomorrow actually there is orientations that you can look at about 25 faculty-led projects and an equal number of industry partner-driven projects. You can bid on one of these. So you basically, MDP does a very intricate match of skills and interests of the students to the corresponding needs of some of these projects. So if you're interested in, have a look. There is, as I said, several dozen projects that are available. Each project would recruit between 5 and 15, 20 students. You work in teams, and you continue. They basically start at the start of the year. Their calendar project, their 12 calendar months, starts in January. Over the summer, you can take, a leave to go and do something else or continue. And MDP provides a limited number of scholarships over the summer. And then you continue with the program in the following fall semester. Students typically enroll between 2 and 4 research credit for each term. So this is 2 semesters. And it's a great program. A lot of our students have done quite well in this program, and many of them have gone to graduate school and actually very nice careers. So if you have questions, please reach out to Trish Coleman, who's the leader of the program there. The website is mdp.engine.umich. And that's all, Mariana. Thank you.
Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna move, and before we let you ask questions, the first thing I'm gonna launch a poll, just because we want to know about how many of you are master students or PhD students. So if you could please quickly respond to it, and while you are clicking on that, I'm gonna tell you about the some of the frequently asked questions before we let you ask questions. So for the certificates, if you want to be considered for enrollment in fall, you'll need to apply to the certificates by August 1st of that year. And if you want to be considered enrolled in the winter term, you need to apply by the previous December 1st. For the PhD, there's no timeline, but as Professor Dinov said, you need to have had your grades posted to enroll in any program. And what you have to consider the most is the time it takes to finish all the requirements. Then for international masters and PhD students, there was a 500 fee for entry, but that was just a one-time. So you don't have to pay any 500 extra for these programs. But there is a, hold on. So of course, if you are a master student, you can choose one of the 3 certificates. You cannot do the PhD program, and you cannot just enroll for the PhD program. You need to be already a PhD student to enroll in the dual PhD program. Again, if the courses you would like to count towards certificate, any of the certificates of the degrees is not listed on either the MIDAS or the MICDE website, you can contact us at MIC-contact or MIDAS-contact. And we will see, well, we said we likely can accommodate you, of course, but it all depends on the syllabus and the content, right? And how do you choose which one to do? It all depends on your interest and your background and what you want to do, I would say, after you graduate. And then about the fees, yes, there is a fee for the certificates, not for the PhD, only for certificates. There's a $10 non-refundable fee to apply for the certificate programs. So you should do this after talking to your advisor and then after talking with us, because we have like a pre-enrollment process before you actually go and apply on Rackham. Again, questions about the certificate in CDE or the PhD in scientific computing, please use MICDE-contact. If you have questions about the certificate in computational neuroscience, please use the email neuro-micde. And then questions about the certificate in data science, please use MIDAS-contact. So right now, for program-specific questions, there will be breakout rooms, as I mentioned at the beginning. But I also wanted to note that tomorrow, so on September 30 at 3 p.m., there will be an outdoor in-person information session with the program directors, and it's in one of the Ingman Mall canopies, the one that is right south of Rackham, because I've been told that we have to be careful. There are two. One is with chairs and tables that is a study tent, but the other one will be there, and we'll be there to ask any questions you might have. And Advanced Research Computing will be there also to answer questions about the computing package and other resources they have. So if you want to join now any of the, thank you for coming, first of all. And if you want to join any of the breakout rooms, please go ahead, and us, the program managers and directors, will move to one of them and answer your questions.